Welcome to the. Oh, wait. This is not the Nixus podcast tonight. Welcome to a promotion night. What's up, Seeth? Patrick in the house.
How's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not
So
today. Not doing too bad. We're doing all right over here.
good, good. All right, we're just starting, and there we go with the chicken nugget going crazy in the back.
Oh, that's how it
Uh,
works, dude. That's how it
I
works.
mean, happy Wednesday. So tonight we are here to promote Seed's brand new album. It is a mouthful. You could see it right there, scrolling at the bottom. Delanda, a black rose of the epitaph.
Yes.
We are going to be listening to every song and we're going to be talking about it. I am excited. It is the first full album listening party that we do. We did the song listening with Starfall last week, the week before.
Yes. Believe it was last week.
The weeks are getting mixed up, guys. Excuse me. There's a lot going on, so days are getting mixed together. But yeah, we're going to listen and start talking about everything.
Juggling adult life, family, kids, and podcasting and stuff, and being busy. Who ever heard of that?
I don't know. And sleeping. I like to sleep, so I need
What's
to
that?
sleep. Right.
What's that?
Although I say that, then I sleep 6 hours, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. So what are we doing now? So, yeah. So how long did it take for you to make the full album?
This honestly was pretty quick. So earlier, I'm gonna say it was last December to February. I wrote and recorded my album, The Psalms of the Dead, Better Left Unsung and Unsaid. And I was working on the Dead Prophet Alive EP at the same time, recording vocals and writing for that. And then come April, it was late March, early April, the reason why this album is here. I ended up, I was off work, I was injured. What's the phrase? An idle mind is the devil's playground. I've had a lot of issues for years, like mental health issues and stuff, and I just kind of pushed it off and was doing the whole tough guy, stuff it all down and whatnot. And man, during that time off of work, it all come out. Ended up having a mental breakdown, signed myself into the psych ward, and even before I started writing this album, I kind of knew where I wanted to take it. I just didn't know what the inspiration was going to be. Actually, I believe before I ended up in the psych unit, I was showing the artwork with Six Scars. I was going back and forth with stuff with him, like, what do you think of this, And then life happened. Once I got out, I wrote the EP, Room 409. That was just kind of very tongue-in-cheek, off the cuff, boom. Put it out on my birthday, and then I immediately started writing this album, putting it together. So a couple months.
So let's talk about the album a little before we start listening. Like globally, give us an idea of what the album covers.
Well, the album covers mental health. I mean, that's a lot of my music, and the thing about it is with each song now, like on YouTube, Spotify, and all that, it just has the album track name, but on Bandcamp and on the physical copies, the CDs, they actually have the phobia of what the song is about, and then then the title track. And with each phobia, the song is just kind of based around my feelings and dealings with them, specific demons. And yeah, it's dark, it's grim. I toned, like I still do some harsh vocals, but I turned back to, pulled back a lot of the guttural stuff. I was definitely a lot more melodic this time around. And I think besides the first track, every song has a hook, which is something that hasn't happened a lot for me in the past. So did some different and cool things with this album this go around.
Very cool. I'm just setting up here so we can have both of us and
You're all good.
also have your music in the middle. That way I won't have to always switch around.
Mhm.
What's up, Ames? All right.
Ames Buckley in the house.
Yes, Ames is my co-host for Ames for the Stars, the NYXUS podcast. She has her whole side of the podcast, which is fucking awesome because I could not do it without her. Trust me. There we go. So let me bring the media up, and then we're going to be able to start listening and start talking about the album. This is exciting, guys. It's really. I was listening to it real quick earlier just to give myself a little, But I didn't want to listen too much because I still want to have that reaction and that storytelling. So we start from the beginning and just go down.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, so we're going to start with the first one, which I'm going to let you say them because I did not train to talk about those phobias.
Okay. I'll kind of, because I had to make notes here just so I could remember everything. Okay, so the first track we got here is Thanatophobia, Black Rose. Thanatophobia is the intense fear of death or the dying process. This is kind of dealing with, mainly just having issues being a caged animal or being backed into the corner, and it's like I don't want to be here anymore. I feel like I got nothing. You've isolated yourself, but you're afraid to die. You're afraid to do anything about it. And that lyrically, that's what it dives into.
So you guys, if you go on Bandcamp, you can buy the album. Best thing to do is to buy on Fridays because Fridays usually everything goes straight to the artist.
Yep.
Love Bandcamp for doing that. So if you guys want to buy anything from any artist on Bandcamp, wait for Friday. Everything will go to the artist. You can go on Seed's Bandcamp and grab the artist, the CD, the digital one for $8. And you can see here all the lyrics also as you're listening to the song. So let's start with the first one, Black Rose. There you go, guys. First one.
That was a fun little track to record. It was there was two versions of it initially. It was one of the first ones recorded. The first version, it was just pretty much all screaming besides the outro part where it repeats remorse as the Black Rose sits. And as the album kind of went along, I was like, I'm thinking of toning back the screams a little bit. So I went back and re-recorded it with some screams, but a little bit more melodic tendencies in it. That was actually finished at work in my break room.
Okay.
My producer, he just relocated to Ireland. He was living in Brazil at the time. And a couple of these tracks, I was like, I'm not happy with it, but I have to find time to re-record it amongst my crazy schedule before he moves to Ireland, so I was rushing around trying to do some last minute shit, and he's just like, dude, which rightfully so, he's like, I'm getting ready to move from one continent to the other, stop, you're killing me, I'm too busy. But thankfully Gus is the man, and he brought it as always. I love that fucking
amazing.
dude.
Abe said that'll blow your socks off anytime. It's a good start. I mean, it's so. What's the reason? You'll see, guys. Every track is not the longest track. I think we said was 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Yeah.
What's the reason for the short tracks?
It was originally just a beat that I found, and that was just the beat in general. It was a short one, and I figured just with the way it hits, it set the the mood for the album up pretty well. So I just kind of kept it as an intro track.
But all the other ones are still short songs.
Yeah. In general, a lot of the trap metal
2 minutes.
stuff. Yeah, they're around like 2 minutes to like two. Like I said, I think the longest one's 250.
250. Yeah.
The trap metal genre in general, like I come from the OG, not OG, but normal metal music, where stuff's longer, and with this genre, it's kind of like verse, break, verse, and the song's over. And another thing I did with this album too is, like I said, I kind of would take the beats and splice them up to where I could have hooks and stuff to make stuff more memorable, and to be able to make the tracks a little bit longer too.
I see. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, like even though it's my music, I love it. It's a very niche sound,
Yeah.
and a dabble do you? You know what I mean? It's one of them things like I try to find with my releases the right amount to where I can keep people's attention, because it is like a rather, it's a very specific sound, and not everybody likes it. It's very polarizing. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. It really like anything, it's subjective,
I was gonna say that's like anything. Some people like stuff, and some people don't like stuff. I mean, if you like it, you listen to it. If you don't like it, find something else. I mean, I like it. I like all kinds of different genres of music, so that helps. It helps a lot. All right, let's go to the second one, and I mean the second one, Claustrophobia.
Yeah, Claustrophobia, Can't Breathe. This was the first single off of the album. This was a cool one. Kind of going back to what I just said. When recording it, I got the beat off of the producer Ghost, and it was originally in a different key, and I wasn't really vibing with where it was. And I think the beat was only like a minute long, actually. So I figured out how to pitch shift it. I got it into the key where I wanted it. And then I just kind of messed around with the arrangement, copying and pasting different parts and stuff. And I thought this one was really cool, where yes, there is some screaming in this one. But in the first verse, I'm kind of like giving like a Chino Marino type vibe. But then in the second verse, it's kind of like Alice in Chainsy with the 3-part harmonies and stuff. It was a fun one to record. It was pretty effortless, actually. It just one of them ones that just fell out of me.
I like harmonies. I like when people take time to layer things up and make it sound.
Yes, it was as fun as it was. That second verse, it was a pain in the ass, because on all my stuff, I don't use any pitch correction or anything. So I got it about as perfect as I can. I'm sure people can listen and maybe nitpick it, but I've actually gotten a lot of compliments on it. So,
well, there you go. Let's take a listen.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen. I'll nitpick, or I'll give you a compliment. I'm kidding. I love your stuff.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I was
There you are.
muted because yes, I approve. I approve. I love the harms. Crypt 13 came in and said vocals are a bit like Manson.
I get that every day, brother. Get that
What's,
every day.
what's
Which is
up, Crypt
crazy because
13?
I'm not a big Manson fan. You know, like whenever I really started was like I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do vocals, and because I used to try to sound like the dude from Breaking Benjamin and Creed, get that yeah, yeah. You know, but like it just that wasn't my voice, and when I started getting that comparison, every now and then I get Jonathan Davis
Yep.
or maybe Tim Williams, which if you're gonna compare me to anybody, do that. But yeah, no, Manson's the one that it always comes to the table. It's
I
just one of
know.
them things. It is what it is.
In that first verse, there was a bit of Kim Dracula in there.
I'll take that. Kim
The
Dracula's dope.
low growly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Mike Stover in the house. Pretty badass. Seed is on here. I just played some of their work. A week or
Yes.
two.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. I appreciate you very much. And I'm pretty sure I can say that on behalf of all DI Records, you know, from our roster that you've been playing. Thank you.
Yes, Mike is awesome. He
Yes.
has an awesome music show. Crypt 13 said, I like it. Good stuff.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Ames says, you have that acquired growl. It's sweet. I mean, I the first time I heard Seed, it was on that Six Scars track. It was,
Yep.
oh,
Better off dead.
Better Off Dead. That's right.
Yep.
That's the first time I heard your voice. And I was like, oh, with Six Cars, it was like, I'm waiting for another collab, by the way. I'm just putting it
Oh,
out
there's
in the
there's some
universe.
stuff in the works between me and Mr. JT. It's just a matter of life chilling out and
Time.
letting us align the stars up.
Yes, having time, right? That's what we
Yes.
were talking about earlier. Trying to have
Yes.
time to do everything.
Yes, indeed.
For whoever just jumped in, we are having a listening party for this new Seed release of his album, Dalenda, A Black of the Epithet. A Black Rose, I'm missing a word. Nobody
Black Rose
told
on the
me.
epitaph.
Yeah, see, on the scrolling message, there's a word missing. I'll fix it. We're on song number 3, which will be, you go ahead, those big words.
Track number 3 is a Telephobia. The song's called Destitute. A Telephobia, that is the obsessive fear of imperfection. Technically, in the grand scheme of things, this was the first song wrote for the album. I wrote bought the beat off of a very, very talented producer by the name of Nominal. And I bought it back in 2022. And I wrote the song, and I didn't know where to put it. And I just kind of shelved it. And then whenever I was going around to, recording this, I was like, like that, it's different, but it fits. So it was just boom. This was this song just, it was easy. One of the easiest songs to record on the album. And it's fun too.
So let's take a listen. Like
Yep.
I said, guys, all the lyrics are all right here. The album is $8 for the whole album, and then if you just want a track, you see here, just $1 a track. All right, let's listen.
the sounds of the gas and swing. Something taken, guaranteed. See the sighting out in vain. Shall will bring distorted change. Echoing of my frozen thoughts. Listen till the destitute. Echoing of my shattered thought. Consequence of a mind undone. The mind made of the only place to see. The mind made of holding to watch and wait. It's watch and wait. It's watch and wait.
Pretty short and sweet and right to the point. Doesn't hang around too long.
There we go. Song number 3. Mechanic A. Fuck yeah, it sounds awesome.
Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, I mean, you're an artist, so maybe you'll get it. You know, you work on something, and anything in life, really, but you're a perfectionist, and it's not where you want it to be, and no matter how much you try to chip away at it to get it to where you think it should be, you just can't get it. That's essentially what that's about, and just it's one of the more positive songs on it. And toward the end of it, you know, you just finally come to the realization that, you know, it is what it is. It's the best I can do. It's the best it's going to be. Have to let it go.
I mean, that's the story of my life right there.
Yes, ma'am,
I am
indeed.
a
You are not alone.
perfectionist. Nah, I know I'm a perfectionist, and I am my own worst critic. Yeah. So I do feel that. Sounds like something that would fit right on the Spawn movie soundtrack back in the 90s.
Mike,
Silver says.
you are the freaking man. You are the freaking man for that. Well, honestly, like, with that being said, that's kind of what the Queen of the Dam soundtrack is actually what kind of inspired this project. SEETHE as a whole in general, just the because it was nu metal and it was predominantly electronic. And like, I'd always wanted to go solo and do stuff like that, but I never had the balls to do it, because when you're solo, you know, you're by yourself. You don't have anybody else, you know, in a group, you know, to really keep you in check, you know. But once COVID happened, it was like, well, got to make music somehow. Yeah. So
Crip says, take me through the recording process. Lyrics first, create as you go. What do you do?
My recording process. Okay, so one thing I've learned over time, especially if you go back to earlier projects of mine from like 2016 onward, when I first started, because at around 2016 when I actually started doing lead vocals, I used to be real layer heavy, and at first I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I sound really, you know, really big and really, you know, and then it come time to perform stuff live, and then it's like my voice sounds totally different because it's just, you know, me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the other thing too is just I go back and I listen, and after time, it's like I sound so sloppy. You know, if I'd have cut it down, you know, because that's sometimes less is more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. As I've gone on, you know, to recording and stuff, you know, and writing, that's what I've learned, and that's kind of what I've taken from it. I oftentimes do less is more. So it's definitely been a growing process. And a lot of times too, like, I write my songs out, you know, I record at my house. You know, a lot of bands, they write the songs and they practice them and practice them and practice them until, you know, but a lot of, like, I have an idea of what I'm going to do going into a track. I have the lyrics in front of me. I hit record and we just see what happens. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit for a song to come out right the way I want it, but a lot of times, most often than not, you know, most of what you're hearing is, you know, the first, you know, takes and whatnot. Like that song, pretty much all of the lead vocals for that was one take, you know, all in the same. So
I
And
mean,
then I did a little, did a little bit of layering. I added like an extra layer, during the hook.
I don't see
With the,
anything bad in doing it at first or second try. It gives the raw emotions even more.
yeah,
I find that more and more that you record, it kind of becomes a little bit more mechanical, and you
yeah.
know what I mean.
Well, on the other foot too, like there's been times like whenever in non-stitch method, especially in the earlier days, like I had my computer and it crashed. I lost everything. We had like half the album mixed and mastered, and the other half I had to go back through and re-record. And as much of a pain in the ass as it was, because I couldn't get into that headspace for them songs again, it did end up coming out better. But a lot of times I like getting that fire whenever you're excited about, writing and getting it done versus like,
Yeah,
I guess I got to do this track. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Mike says you should pitch your music to these zombie action films you see on Tubi or Netflix.
Little thing about that, there is a film coming out, another record label based out of Texas. They're called Solunar Records. I am actually featured on multiple tracks. They're a music label, indie music label, but the owner of the label, he is shooting a action horror psychological flick called Overnight, and I'll be appearing on the soundtrack for that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Let us know when that comes out.
Shout out to Solunar Records, man. Them guys, I got a lot of friends over there as well. A lot of really cool talent. DI Records and Solunar Records, that's where it's at, baby.
Mechanic A says first take usually the best I found.
Yes, and like I've heard is watched interviews. Chester Bennington and even Scott Stapp have said like they go back every now and then through the tapes and stuff when they were first writing material, and they're like, dude, that first take, why didn't we keep that? You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. It's got that fire, it's got that excitement versus doing the same line 72,000 times. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree completely. I get the same way. Sometimes I have to stop. I can't finish recording a song because now I'm so pissed off of repeating the same line for the same
Yes,
like 20
yes,
times in
exactly.
a row. I'm like,
Exactly.
okay, I'm gonna just stop and come back like later because now I'm just getting frustrated.
Yep.
And all you can hear through the voice is just frustration. So
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's go to your fourth song, which is Autophobia, if you will.
Autophobia. I'm going into this one. So this is another beat from Ghost, the same guy who did Can't Breathe. So the sample in this, it's a news broadcast. And I'll be real with you, I didn't like it. I was actually going to see if he could remove it. This was the first track on the album that was recorded, mixed and mastered. Boom, done. But the sample in it, I was watching The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. And there's a point in the movie where he's sitting there across the table from the main bad guy, and he tells a story about a kid being adopted, troubled child, and he gets everything he wants in life, a loving family that treats him well and whatnot, but he kind of gets scared of eventually one day them being, he's a piece of shit, we should have never taken him in. So he beats them to the punch and murders them all in their sleep. So they can't abandon him. Like, that's how bad his psyche was. Now, a lot of this album is biographical. I want to say that I have never been, never had them thoughts in my head, but it's just the thought of just being scared of, what if they're sick of my shit and they decide to leave? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to fix myself. That's the main gist of the song, if you will.
What's beautiful about this album is that if you can't like feel connected to the first song, you'll connect to one of these songs. I mean, so far you're like hitting my life on the nose, and I'm like, okay, stop calling me out, sir. I feel very called out.
That's
know.
another thing. That's another thing too. Is like, depression's a silent killer, dude. Like, we all, and I'm pretty sure anybody who's watching this, listening to me ramble, it pulls us back out of the world we live in, and we just end up in a corner, and we're just like, dude, I'm alone in this. Nobody understands. When it's the very opposite, dude. Like, we're all going through the same stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's all things that, it's like, oh, yeah. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine, He found out about my visit to the psych ward, and he was like, well, you remember whenever I was gone on this date? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I was actually in for like a week and a half. And it was like, dude, and we ended up talking. It was like, dude, like a lot of this, like we were going through a lot of the same shit, and we didn't know, you know. And that bond kind of brings you closer, you know. And it's not glorifying, you know, like, oh, you know, like, yeah, it's just a lot of people feel the same thing and go through the same thing, but it just, we feel like we're alone in it. It's nasty like that. It's a terrible, terrible disease, depression and anxiety.
Exactly. Sorry. Dying Oath in the house, says Mike Stover. What's up, Dying Oath? If you guys are around the pit this Saturday, I will not be able to make it. Unfortunately, Amanda doesn't have the day off. But they will be having the last show over there. Check out on the Dying Oath page. They have posted it everywhere. If you can catch it, it will be the last show over there. So I'm sure it will be amazing. The energy will be fucking lit. And it will be emotional. That's for sure. Robert says, hi fam. Dying Oath.
Hi, Robert.
Very well known from Mike, from Robert. Robert also has Concert Junkies, which is a YouTube channel that does the same thing as I do, interviews with musicians. So if you guys haven't said hi to Robert and had an interview, check out my magazine. Here you go, shameless plugs from last month, which has Robert featured. And that way you'll be able to get the information to message Robert. SEETHE will also have a feature in this month's magazine about this album. Like I said, Sir just send me a write-up and I will put it in the magazine.
Yes, ma'am. Greatly appreciated.
Mindy Jackson from Dying Oath and her girlfriend, Kat, who usually give me an article about shows that they're around, shows that they do. Kat is a photographer with Metal Mommy Photography. They have had a lot going on this month. I hope you girls are doing well. But usually you could see them having an article or two or 4 pages.
Where's Dying Oath based out of?
Virginia.
Okay. That's why I know them, man. All right. I got you.
And of course, while we're doing shout outs, Mike Stover, make sure you follow him and send him your music for your show. And he said to you, expect to be in our 75th celebration show.
I see you, Mike. I see you.
That's a big milestone right there. 75th episode, Mike.
That's awesome, dude. Congrats.
Fuck yeah. All right, let's go back to business and go check out If You Will.
When his 10-year-old son came to investigate the commotion, his father
That one is sick. Like
That,
sick
that,
as fuck. Like,
that song and the next one are probably my two favorites to perform live off of this album.
I mean, this shit is like intense. Like
Thank you, thank you.
because it starts with that little news clip, and then you just
Yeah.
come in, and it's not even just come in. You come in like full force, like, oh, okay, sir. This track has vampire movie written all over it. Mike Stover, Ames Buckley, throwing up the horns up there.
Thank you guys very much.
Mechanic
Thank
A,
you.
awesome. Love your originality and creativity.
Thank you, Mechanic A. Seriously.
Mike says this is not the kind of music you want to be stoned to.
That's not true.
I mean,
It's a little more digestible, actually, I think.
I
Now,
like
will it
it.
put you in a good mood? Probably not. But
I mean, I'm a big fan of horror movies, right? And how many times do we watch a horror movie and the husband snaps or the wife snaps?
oh, dude, it's like horror. It's horror 101.
So I mean, this song
yeah.
would fit perfectly. Like,
Yes.
you know, like
Yes, indeed.
Mike says, depends on the grade. I guess. I guess it depends on who you are.
Yes, that is very, very true. That is very, very true.
I mean, this one is one of my favorite right now so far that I've heard from this album.
It's one of my favorites, and also too, I'll take a second shout out to my man Dan Mitchell from Not Falling Studios. He put together a lyric video for this track, and we're going to be releasing it here soon. So, but he did an awesome job, and not to, I'm not to air out any dirty laundry, but like it goes back to exactly what we've been saying. Like Dan and I talked off and on for the last couple of years. Dan's an awesome dude, just a great overall creative individual, and him and I kind of reconnected a couple months ago, and we were just talking about life, and he was like, "Oh, you went to the psych ward? I paid a visit there too." We just kind of talked about life and stuff we were going through, and what we were doing to take them steps to make ourselves better, to be the people, the fathers, the husbands, that we had, that we need to be, and that, for ourselves, So
It's important to have that connection.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's very important to have that connection
Yeah.
to be able to talk to somebody and put trust in somebody to understand you. Like when you can connect with somebody that feels the same way, that thinks the same way on certain things.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to be like, oh shit, I am kind of normal. There's other
Yeah.
people that think like me.
100%.
There's other
Well-
people that have the same paranoias, the same, like
Yeah. And it goes back to, this is something I see a lot, and I fully agree with it. Don't break the rule of the universe. Don't be a dick. Like, I know, like, everybody's got their bad day where they're grumpy, when they're down in the slump. But, like, when you're seeing people out and about, like, you do not know what everybody's going through. Even people that are close to you, like, you'd be surprised, and especially a lot of times the people that don't talk about it a lot are probably going through something, and just try to be good, try to be caring, loving, nurturing, you know what I mean? If you gotta,
Absolutely.
someone's giving you shit and you gotta fuck them up, have at it. If they earn their thumbs, give them their thumbs, but just try to be a good person, man.
But
If you don't know.
at the same time, I always try to, tell everybody, like, even if one person is giving you shit, you don't know what this person's going through. You might, or
Well,
you know what I mean. You might, or
Yeah.
you don't know. They might have just lost somebody. They might have
Yep.
just and bad timing. You're running
Yep.
into them right now, and they're very fucking mad.
Yep.
And then
It's very,
all of a
very
sudden,
true.
you fucking lash out back at them, and then, well, you just made everything worse for yourself, for that person. For
Yeah.
sometimes it just takes a little, brush it off,
Yes.
like,
Brush it off, let it flow off the back.
that's it. Just brush it off, and just think maybe that person's having a worse day than I am.
Yeah.
Mike Stover said, "Amen. Don't judge a book by its cover."
Yes, sir, indeed.
Vaughn is back talking about Statues. Statues is an amazing hip hop band, and we did talk about them a little bit earlier.
Yes, we did.
They will be here in October, guys. I know you are excited, Vaughn. I know the kindest people are going through the most shit. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. The quietest people, the people that will keep it the most inside, usually are the ones that are going through some major shit. And it is incredible. Statues will be with us, like I was saying, in October to promote their new album coming out that they have a lot of great features on. I'm not going to talk too much because I want to keep it for that interview. But check them out. Make sure you follow Statues and check out their new album. You'll be like pleasantly surprised with the people they have featuring with them. And
That's awesome, dude.
These two guys are incredible. They're good people. All right, song number 5, Death Left Here.
Song number 5. Okay, this one's the one. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. Stygiophobia. Stygiophobia is the fear of hell. I came up from a very, we'll say, a pseudo-religious background. And by that, like, there was a point in time in my high school years, like, we got taken out of public school, and we went through, I was in 2 private Christian schools, and then I did the whole cyber school thing to graduate. And it comes from, this is, whenever Christianity comes up, people get up in arms real quick. And I'm not saying anything like, yay, Christianity. I'm not bashing Christianity either. The thing that it gets me is, I believe there is an entity out there, be it God, be it Buddha, be it, you know what I mean? But the Bible, to me, the Bible is, it was a book written by man. Maybe it was quote unquote God's word, but it was interpreted by man, and it's taught by man. And the thing about it is I'm not going to go into it, but like, I was somebody who was abused in the church. I was somebody that there's a lot of amazing, gracious, kind, loving people in the church, but there is a lot of people that are some of the most vile, nasty ass motherfuckers you will ever see. And they sit with
because of the cover up. You know what
exactly.
I mean? You're a man of God. You're, and it sucks because it makes the good ones.
Yes. And this was actually the defining moment of where I knew the album was going. Because the term delenda let me see here. As a verb, it means things to be deleted or removed. I believe in mythology, delenda is an angel. Not necessarily the angel of death, but like kind of along that lines, if I remember correctly. But when it was in my second night in the hospital, like I had this beat. The beat was playing in my head. Like I'd heard it before I checked in. And the next time I was able to get a pen and paper, I wrote all this shit. Like I wrote like a whole ass page. And then I got this 1 minute and 55-second beat, and I'm like, all right. And I whittled it down into this track. So, yeah.
All right.
Death left here.
Ames says corruption is in powers everywhere. Lets others
exactly.
Yes. Vaughn said, I'm to a point in my life where somebody can't communicate with the problem. I'll tell them, hey man, I don't want these problems, but I will throw them hands. Karma.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you do what you gotta do. You have to get your respect in life, and that's one thing. But if you want respect, you should show respect to people. That's just how it is.
Do unto others as you would have done to you.
And same thing for religion. I believe in what I believe. You believe in what you believe, and I think we could find a middle ground.
Exactly.
Me and Mike Stover have constant conversation about religion, and we do not have the same religious background, but we can respect each other enough to have full-on conversations.
Well, to even go a little further with this, like, for example, like I'm going to bring Christianity back up. Like within Christianity, you have multiple interpretations and translations of the Bible, but also when you look at, the denominations, Christianity as a whole, you have Presbyterian, Baptist, non-denominational, there's all these different sectors, and they have the common core thing, but there's little things that make them different from one another. And the thing I have is a lot of times then people treat it like a social club, like, and a clique. Like I've seen it where we're going to, like 3 different churches are going on a youth group trip to, we're all going to be staying at this church camp. but they talk shit on one another, like, oh, well, this preacher does this and this, and but it's like, dude, we're all here for the same reason. You know, we're supposed to be worshiping God, you know, Jesus, you know, but like, it comes down to like it's like y'all completely missed the message. You missed everything. And shit like that is what drives people away and gives Christianity a bad name.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why I always say it sucks for the people that are good, the people that are,
Exactly.
that won't shove it in your face, that will let you be. Listen,
Yep.
if you are right, and the only person that's allowed to judge me is God, then let your God judge me when it's time to judge me.
Yes.
You go about your day, and I'll go about my day.
Yeah.
Mechanic A said, "When the right hook comes out, motherfuckers get knocked the fuck out."
Bitches get stitches, baby.
There you go. All right, let's listen to Death Left here.
Much love, Ames. Thanks for
Good night,
thank you for
Ames.
tuning in while you could. Good night. Get some rest.
Right? It's super late for her. She's just moved in a new house. Congratulations, Ames, on the new place. Let's get it. Good night to you, Maddie, and the kids. I'll message you tomorrow when you're awake. Savvy in the house. What's up, girl? Late, but not too late. We still have some songs to play.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about the next one, Sold Me.
So, okay, so let's see where we at here. Pisthanthrophobia, that is the fear of trusting others. I've often
Told
been
you,
in.
stop calling me out.
You know, this song, I've always been somebody that wears my heart on my sleeve. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And whenever I really started getting into the industry and started working with artists and stuff, I learned that I had to, I don't want to say kill that, but I had to learn to be able to start reading people.
Yeah.
And it's basically about that. It comes from, I don't want to say it, but the phrase like, oh, so-and-so's a dick. And it's like, well, they've been through a lot, you know, they don't trust, you know, you got to get to know them, you know, it kind of derives from that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, I find the older I get, you know, the more I kind of pull myself back and I kind of let people do the talking and let them, you know, show them, give me that couple minutes to get a read. And most of the time I get a reading on somebody nowadays, I pretty much got them pegged from the get-go. Like my gut's right. Every now and then I'm wrong, for better or worse, but that's pretty much what it's about. It's just, you know, the inability to, you know, I've been hurt, I've been damaged, and, you know, I've lost that trust and the ability to trust people.
it's what I keep telling my kid.
It's a very universal topic.
Be careful who you trust. Be careful who
Yes.
you say stuff to.
Yes.
Find your people. There's not a lot. Like, this is who you can count of. That, and
Yeah.
usually that'll include your parents. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's
And
true.
then a few friends. And if you're lucky, it includes your parents. Because some people
Yep.
can't even include their parents in that hand.
Yep.
Mechanic Case says, your songs have opened up my mind about different possibilities. I like your style, very different, but fucking great.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Seriously.
That's what music's for, and this is what this show is for, is to to create these connections, to open up those possibilities and those ideas. And so let's listen to Sold Me.
Eclipsed by design. Let's turn out to bleed. Survive wine and decline. The path that had to find. The ghost likes that should never said it so well. A ghost likes that should never told it so well. I'm so unwell. I'm so unwell. I'm so unwell. You sold me unwell. You sold me so well. Eclipsed by design. Falling eyes of time. Of timing and every underneath. Of priming and just offer base should never said it so well. A ghost like that should never told it so well. I'm so unwell. I'm so unwell. I'm so unwell. You sold me unwell. You sold me so well.
That's another one of my favorites to play too live. I don't know what it is about that beat, but over a PA system, it hits in all the right places. The kick, the ambience, and whatnot. Yes. Yes, yes. I think you got yourself muted.
Good job. Good job, Mel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with my beats, I mean, I can listen to that bass thumping and everything. So yeah, it's that one's really really cool. I love those lyrics. On this one, I really really love those lyrics. How do you find your melodies?
Winging it.
I love this shit.
I
love this
listen back and I'm kind of like, I how do I want to say it? If I don't cringe, I assume it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like we're like you said earlier, like we're all our own worst critics. A lot of times, like I try to like I'll find it on guitar, I'll find the notes, and I'll try to find like harmony. You know, like say like the notes too, you know, the keys too high. Like I'll try to find a harmony within that, be it augmented or you know, diminished or whatever. You know, I try to you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Try to do something different with what I have. You know.
Sounds really good.
Thank you.
I've always been a big fan of your voice. It has that depth, and your transitions from your screams, your growls to your cleans,
Yeah.
is very very effortless. It's smooth, and you have that Jonathan Davis. You have that Korn.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it. I'm glad that you're trying to you understand what I'm trying to say. You have that undertone
I got
of
that early 2000s blueprint in there.
what I grew up on. I think that's why
Yes.
it's so familiar. It's so,
Yeah.
it's
100%.
what we grew up on. Next song, Life's Away.
Chronophobia. This is another one I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to. The extreme fear of time or time passing. And this track was honestly, this is probably the hardest one to record, and I'll explain. Not necessarily that the vocals were. This probably took me a month because when I got out of the hospital, I never been on psych meds before, so there was the whole process of going through and finding what regimen worked best for me.
Yeah.
And when I was trying to record this shit, there for a while, like I felt like a zombie, and I was like, okay, I want to go up and record, but it was the equivalent to going and eating, Thanksgiving dinner, getting that stuffing and that turkey in, and then being like, all right, I'm gonna go out and play some football. You got that turkey drunk going on, you're all lethargic, and and the same applies to vocals. Like it's like, I know I can do this, but I'm just so tired and like I can't tap that part of my psyche and my voice. I don't have the energy, because that's another thing too. Like when I record music, I don't, like I said, a lot of it's very off the cuff. Like I kind of look at it like method acting, to where I try to get into that psyche where I can really bring that out, that extremity and pain within my voice. And if you're just like having an off day, or stoned out of your mind because you this new psych med you're on, and you're just like, it ain't gonna happen.
You're not gonna do it. No.
No. This is another fun one to play live too.
It's if your brain is not into it. That's what I used to tell my old guitar player for the band that I was with. Well, why didn't you record last night? Because I couldn't. I have depression, I have anxiety, and some days like getting out of bed is hard enough.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have the headspace. I don't have the,
Mhm.
oh, but it'll take you just a few hours.
Like, not,
Yes.
well, the other thing too, well, like that's the beauty about technology is our best friend and our worst
but
enemy at the same time.
With a guitar, you could fake it a little more. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yes.
You could sit there.
Yes.
If I don't feel the emotions, I can't convey the emotion.
Yes, exactly. And like nowadays, a lot of, like I record from home. Now, granted, I have a janky ass setup, but it gets the job done. But I've been to studios before, and I respect it. I love the art of it, but nothing's worth. And like, I have a lot of health issues too. Like there's just some days I don't, there's weeks I don't have it. Like I physically can't do it.
Yeah.
And, if you say you have a block booked, you try to do it, and you're having an off day, that is money and time down the drain. Where versus if, I go up, I start spitting shit, and it's like, I'm having an off day today. We'll just shut it off and we'll try it again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You can get into that headspace and in your comfort zone.
It's why a lot of people are doing it from home now.
Mm-hmm.
I understand for drummers it could be a little more complicated. You bring your drummer to the studio, but if you could set up your studio, learn at least the basics. You don't need to know everything. You still have your producers, you have your people that master for you. But if you learn at least your basics, it helps.
Give me 1 second. I got to be a dad for a second.
No problem.
We're about 2/3 of the way there, but sweetie, it is raining, it is thundering and lightning. Get your butt in the house, crazy kids. What? I don't know. Anyway. We're good now. We're good.
Kids are awesome. Mine just fell
yes, they
asleep at the beginning of the interview, so he's laying down right there. He's so used to me doing the interviews or trying to sing or trying to record that He's been doing that since he's been a baby. I'd
Oh,
be
dude, it's same for
mid
mine.
recording studio like session screaming in those notes and turn around and he's just passed out and it's like, okay.
I'll never forget one time, Lorelai, the little one you just heard there, if you could hear her. I was recording. They're used to it. They understand it. They get it. So that's just what we have in the house all the time. One day I was trying something on a song and I did like a, and like she straight up just plopped the sippy cup out of her mouth and she's like, "No, Dad." I didn't even listen back. I was just like, delete. Okay.
I mean, they are brutally honest. You gotta love
They
them
are,
for that.
yes. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm not even going to listen back. If she's telling me it's shit, I'm just going to assume it's shit.
Right? Well, let's listen to Life's Away right now. This is fun.
Yeah. Love you, JT. You're the fucking man.
Here we go. JT stopped by. I don't know if you're still here, JT, but thanks for stopping by. Six Scars is JT. That's what I was saying earlier. This is how I heard SEETHE from the first time, was through JT and their song together.
I love that dude.
He's amazing. He's an amazing person.
JT's one of them people where him and I will text and call each other a lot, and then just life will be busy. We're dealing with whatever. We won't talk for a little bit, and then whenever we finally get back to it a couple weeks later, it's like just picking right up where you left off. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how you know you have a true connection with people.
Yes,
You could just not talk for a lot long. I have a friend like that right now. I think we started talking again about a year ago. I think there was like a year that we didn't speak, health issues and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then that person comes back in your life, and it's like you pick up where you left off. It's like you didn't lose any time. You didn't, I believe in previous lives. I believe that that's connections you had in previous lives. That's why they're so strong. The bond is so strong right now. Is because it's not the first time that you guys connect. That's my beliefs. You guys don't,
Hey, anything's possible, dude. Anything is possible.
I mean, why not? Song number 8, Linear.
Song number 8. Let's see. We have. Whoop! It's getting dark. That's how you can tell summer's winding down. It's only 8:12 and it's pretty dark over here.
Yep.
Okay, so song number 8 was the second single off of the album. Metaphysophy. Metaphysiophobia.
That's why I'm letting him say them, guys. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
I feel like that sounds like what is it? Like them ads at like 3:00 in the morning, where you're like, if you or a loved one have been affected by mesothelioma, you could be, you know. But
what are the side effects, though? Those are always bad.
Anyway, the song is called Linear. That particular phobia that we cannot seem to pronounce, it's a phobia that causes people to avoid changing their circumstances due to being extremely afraid of the unknown. This is probably one of the few songs on the album where I tried to take a sort of positive twist on it. It's about, being in the thick of whatever it is you got going on. And in the hook, it's kind of like it's saying reverse the role, try, change it up, try to put yourself in, a different mindset to try and get out of this. You know what I mean? To regain some sort of semblance of balance and, what one's personal normality would be, to bring back their peace of mind.
Mechanic says, I think I have that.
Mesothelioma.
Oh, if you can pronounce it, let us know how to say it.
Yes.
But let's listen to the song that we can't pronounce. It's like JT. I think it was JT when he came in with his album. I was like, you could pronounce it. I'm not even trying. Like, no, you guys are trying to confuse me with your big words. No. So let's listen to Metathesiophobia. See, we just have to take our time to say it.
Linear. That's the name of the song. Linear.
There you go.
Asking how to come as we fall to our feet. This is an outside place. Dismiss our fate. This is an outside place. We'll expel our disguise. Reverse the role. It's a blinding dream. It's just a passing place. The screens reflect the reverse of wrong. It's just a passing face. With silhouettes like mountains skies. Empathy like apathy. Feelings like destroying walls. I'm watching your eyes, shifting as they go. I'm watching your eyes, switching as they roll. Reverse the role. It's a blinding dream. It's just a passing phase. The screens reflect the reverse of role. It's just a passing phase. With silhouettes like moonface rain.
So you said that you started doing these songs when you do your live shows.
Yeah, yes. A couple weeks ago, I hit the road with my buddies in Samara. We did a little weekender, and I had a show that I was running. Nine Stitch Method, my band, we were supposed to perform, but stuff happened, life happened, and we weren't able to play. So I was like, well, I'm going to be running sound and shit. I got this release show coming up and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and just start playing these songs, you know. So I get an idea ahead of time for my release show, which we had this past weekend. This song out of all of them is probably the hardest. It's the most vocally demanding. It goes back and forth a lot, you know, and just in general, the hook, very full chat. There's a lot of things going on. It's fry vocal, so you're compressing your glottal up here, but you have to use chest voice to get it loud and have that power. And them notes are pretty high, so you're also activating, you know, some of your head voice too. It's very. I either sink or I crash, well, that's sink or I crash. It's a hard song to do. Yeah, it's like, it's fun to do, but I don't like doing it in front of people because it's like, oh, am I gonna, you know, because I don't have it down to that point yet to where I have, you know, like muscle memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to play this out a couple times. It's a fun song, but it's definitely not one of my favorites to do. It's hard. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
It doesn't sound easy. No, not at all.
No.
We're on song number 9, In a Dream, last song of the album.
Yes. So this song and track number 5, Death Left Here, they're kind of tied in sort of together. Let me see. Let me look at we have a pyrophobia. That is the phobia of infinity or eternity, causing discomfort or sometimes panic attacks. And it comes from, you know, what happens, you know, if I hit the bucket, you know, if I kick the bucket today, I step out to walk across the street and I get whacked by a bus. Where do I go? What do I do? Like, you know, am I reincarnated? You know, do I go to purgatory and I'm, you know, just kind of sitting in a waiting room with everybody else? You know what I'm saying? Or is it like in Beetlejuice? Where, you know, but like, yeah, or, you know, we have no idea what we're going to be getting into and what actually happens. You know, you don't know until that day. And when that time comes,
we don't know 100% for sure. We believe, some people have beliefs, but nobody knows till it happens.
100%.
And then nobody can tell you.
Yep. And I think what's kind of cool too is like near-death experiences and stuff like that. Like kind of hearing people that have bounced back and, you know, some of the, you know, you don't know if they're talking, you know, if they actually, you know, that happened or if it was a dream or if they're just, you know, bullshitting. But it's kind of interesting to hear about people, you know, passing, you know, and then being revived and coming back. It's always,
what's that movie? Flatliners.
Yes. There was it was a Robin Williams movie. It's real trippy. I can't remember it. Where dreams may. I can't remember. Okay. Anywho. But yeah, no, that's pretty much the song is, to me, it's kind of like riding off into the apocalypse and just like not knowing what the hell's going to happen when everything's all said and done and we're all gone. You know, another funny thing too, the beat for this, Violence Beats produced this beat. Him and Ghost did pretty much half the album. I used them most on the album, and then Full, Crazy Demons, and Nominal each had a track as well. But this one, Violence has very loud beats, but I'll never forget, he sent me this one, and he's like, bro, this is the loudest shit I ever did. And most of the time, I might have to knock a beat down a couple decibels to be able to hear what I lay down. I had to knock this track down like 20 decibels.
Ooh.
Just to be and like I sent it to Guster, my producer, the gentleman I mentioned earlier, and he's like, do you know how, he's like, I'm trying to get everything, like, he's like, it's all it's all just one block. He's like, there's not even any peaks and valleys in it. It's just one giant block. Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
this one was kind of a cool one to perform too. I did a lot of different layerings in the hook. I was pretty happy. There's a main melody, there's a lower harmony, there's a scream melody, and then there's some gutturals in there. And I think we did a pretty good job of making it sound nice and clean with it. It's pretty cool. It kind of, it really brings that emphasis on the topic at hand.
Well, let's take a listen to that
Yes, we shall.
crazy loud song that you had to bring down. 20 is a lot. 20 is a lot.
Yes, it is.
I could see how this song could be the loudest song with the sounds, with the way it's arranged.
Oh, dude. And another funny note, the very last belt, that like 20-second belt, I legit fell out of my chair.
I bet you did. I bet.
Let me see. There's another song. If you ever check out Dead Prophet Alive, there's a song called Solitude Dance. In the bridge for that song, I let out like a 20-second. And oh man, there's times I do that. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I pulled off this like really long, strong belt, and then I go to do it live. I'm like, I ain't fucking doing that.
I was gonna say, could you do it live though? Because I mean, everybody knows.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. A lot of times no, because
Yeah,
I do.
everybody knows by now that I'm a big Maria Brink fan in this moment, and they just
Yes.
came out with The Purge not long ago. And if
Yeah.
you listen to the recorded version, I think it's 28 seconds of her big scream. When she goes to do it live, she does that scream in two. So she does a bit of a scream, and then she takes a
Yeah.
breath, and then she does a bit
Yeah.
more. It's almost like, but you have to give them a break too. If people are like, well, she can't even do it on shows. How many songs is she singing? When you're recording, you get to that part, it's like, okay, we're ready for your scream. Are you ready? And you
Yeah.
just get ready and push it.
Yeah.
When you're doing your show, it's
And then too, like, don't get it twisted. Like, I hate going to shows and seeing a singer suck, but oftentimes they don't suck. Like I said earlier, I have a lot of health issues. Like, that's my voice isn't always consistent. Like, typically, like, my singing's always on par. My low guttural screams are always on par, but like the high, like a lot of the hooks I have in here have like that fry sing scream type thing. Like, if I'm feeling sick that day, it just my performance is gonna suffer. But you go to somebody like Maria Brink, who she's probably playing 45 minutes at a minimum at this point in her career. She's toured for how many years? And, you do that stuff day after day after day after day, for say a month. Man, that's how long, that's a lot of fatigue on the vocal cords.
Well, you have to remember that they're humans, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's not like a guitar where you break a string or, something happens. You can get another guitar. You can replace that string. We only have one set of vocal cords.
Yep.
Like, it's just a lot of people forget that. Like, I understand, like, I paid this money to see them and they suck. But you have to remember that a lot. I've seen bands come to town where, they'll suck this time around. Then you go back the next time they come through and they sound perfect. It's just, maybe they're sick. Maybe they're having allergies. Maybe shit.
That's it. And if you listen to In This Moment Productions, like their music is layered. Her voice is layered upon layers to give it depth, to give it more of a the goddess feeling. You know what I mean? Like so when you get she's playing with a track. Yeah, she's singing with her track. Yeah, not the whole time, just where she needs to have backups, which she can't back herself up.
Yep.
Like, people have to give a chance to singers. Like you said, you got a 20-second scream. Some days, on a good day, you might hit it, and on a bad day, you'll do it in 2 screams, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, like most, like Chester Bennington in Giving Up, like most of the time when you find live videos of that song, that long ass belt he does, he can do it. He does it. But then there's other performances, he does exactly like what you're talking about. Like, he'll kind of wind down, take a quick breath, and then boom, right back into it. It's just, the body is the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to breathe at some point, dude.
Exactly. I mean, it's still, for me anyways, it's still impressive. I can't, I have a baby growl, baby cub growl, like a little tiger. Just a little fry scream that I do once in a while when we sing for fun. And I have the utmost respect for people that can scream, it's a lot of training. It's a lot of, if you're doing it wrong, you're going to fuck yourself up pretty fucking good.
It is definitely a learning curve diving into the world of harsh vocals. I'll be the first to tell you it. I don't even, I get compliments on my voice and I'm very appreciative, but I'm happy where I'm at, but I want to be so much better than where I'm at. It's just one of them things, vocals are hard, dude. If you really, really want to be a master at it, you'll never be done. You'll never be done.
No,
there's always stuff you can do to improve.
Absolutely.
Always stuff you can do to improve.
Good coach and no, I'm not, I wish I could talk to her one day. We're trying to get her to interview her on the show, Melissa Cross. So if you guys want to learn to scream, definitely check out the Zen of Screaming with Melissa Cross. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna tag her. I'm gonna try to get her for you guys so we can talk to her. She is an incredible woman, an incredible talent in the industry. She has a lot of free short tutorials. The really good ones you have to pay for, but it's really worth it. Those tutorials at the palm of your hand.
That honestly, her tutorials they ended up being kind of the ground blocks that I went to be like, all right, I got to learn how to do this shit right. So,
even if you're a singer, she helps.
Yeah.
The
100%.
Rotunda, everything that she learns, how to breathe, how to have your supply of air that you'll need but you'll never use. Like, it's crazy for everybody that's singing, screaming, growling, whatever you want to do. Mechanic A said, just starting out with vocals and fuck yeah, it's hard. It is. It's not easy.
Always drink water, lukewarm water, room temp water. Always keep your vocals hydrated. Always, always, always. Must. And warm up. Warm up. Those are the
No,
two biggest things that I see people fuck up all the time, and it's like, dude, it's easy to figure out a good, there's so many things online you can find nowadays, for
I
warm
don't
ups and stuff.
recommend smoking, dairy products, alcohol. Try to leave all of that
Yeah,
behind.
yes,
Water,
like
a lot of water.
a lot of water. I won't drink beer before I do a set. I'll have a couple shots of like a clear whiskey. Like I drink either Jameson or American honey. Those are my two. I don't get shit faced. I'm not chugging a bottle, but I'll do 2 or 3,
Yeah.
45 minutes before a set. I start warming up. I'll do a shot when I start warming up. I'll do a shot in the middle and then a shot right before I get up there. It helps clear the throat out.
All my favorite things. Yeah, but if you're, I've seen a lot of singers like they get really trashed. They go on stage and then it's you're gonna end up hurting your vocals. You're
Oh,
gonna
dude, 100%.
yeah, have some water. It's nothing. There's nothing not metal about not drinking. I mean, there's that new water there. What's it called? I drank it at that festival I went to. It comes in a can, looks like a beer, but it's fucking water.
Liquid death.
Liquid death. Yeah. You look like a fucking rock star with that shit in your hands, but you're just drinking water.
Yes, 100%.
It's just water, but you still look like it's liquid death. It's just water.
Yes.
If you're
No,
fancy, they have
sparkling.
right. Blah. If you're fancy, they have the sparkly ones with the flavors too. But see, it was amazing, Patrick, to have you with us to talk about the album. Uh,
Thank you so much for giving me the time of day and having me on. Thank you to everybody that was commenting and chatting throughout. Great listening to me ramble and listening to the tunes and stuff, man. It was a blast. Thank you.
Listen, anytime, we always have a seat for you here at the Nixus podcast slash whatever the fuck this is. Promotion hour. There we go. We're going to start calling it promotion hour ish, hour and a half. You guys can get, thank you, McKenna K. He said, great show. You guys could get the album straight from Bandcamp. Like I said, try to wait for a Friday. That way, all the money goes directly to the artist. Singles are $1. Get the full album for $8. So, save $1 if you get the full album. Can we get a physical copy somewhere?
Kurt, I have physical copies. If you reach out and want a physical copy, we can talk something where I can mail it to you and whatnot. I don't have like an online merch store for that specifically right now, but yeah, there are physical copies. You can get one. Just simply hit me up.
Cool. So it's good to
Yeah.
know. So we just have to send him a DM.
Yep.
Just follow
Just a
him
message
from
away.
here. Exactly. Just go check out the page. I tagged him in a few posts in this week, so just send him a message. Is there anything you want to tell people? Is there anybody you want to shout out before we go tonight?
Oh God. Well, as far as a thing to tell people, don't break the rule of the universe. Don't be a dick. And just like what we spent the last hour talking about, take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. If you are going through stuff, and somebody is out there that cares. There is no need to. Somebody's all, it's a phone call, a text message. Reach out to somebody. There are people around you that care. There are people around you that love you.
And if you don't want to talk to somebody that there is phone numbers that you could call.
Exactly.
And you will talk to a stranger.
It's amazing. We live in a day and age where all that stuff is at our fingertips at our phones and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I always say my DMs are
help.
open. Yes, my DMs are open.
And likewise,
any time.
I've always, yes.
Absolutely. I'd rather spend hours with you right now dealing with what you're going through than hearing the bad news. So just don't wait, guys.
Yes.
Just
And
reach out.
this is, and I don't know your story, Mel, but this is coming from somebody who I've been there. I've been there multiple times and I've come back. It's a terrible journey, but you do what you got to do. You get through it and you come out the other side better, so
Absolutely.
there's always light at the end of the tunnel and you're not alone.
Yes.
That's my message, man. Love
We did
and
a-
getting through it.
we did
We're
a
going
full
through hell.
week.
We're just going to keep on trucking. We're going to get out of it
We gotta
eventually.
help each other go through
Yes.
this hell,
Exactly.
We had a full week on mental health at the NYXUS podcast. in May. I'm hoping to have another one probably in December because
That's it.
unfortunately it's the holidays, but for some
Yep.
people the holidays are very depressing, and
Yes, ma'am, indeed.
so we will probably have another week there where I will open up. The last week that we had, I stayed quiet. I let everybody talk. This time, I will probably start telling my story to other people, um, because we all need to tell our story. So
Exactly. Exactly. And that's
whoever
the thing.
wants to come and join us and sit down with us, the door is open for everybody. I can host 10 people at the same time so we can have a full-on conversation and shoot shit.
And then let me see. Shout outs. I'll do that real quick before I get off here. I got
Yes,
a
go
long
ahead.
list. First of all, shout out to my rock, my wife, Rebecca. She is the best. Um, she puts up with my bullshit. She lifts me up when I'm down, and
Yep.
vice versa. Uh, she helps organize. Like with the kids' schedules and whatnot. Like she definitely busts her ass to make sure that I have time to do what I got to do for this kind of shit. And she's supportive and runs the merch table, and she does all that stuff, man. She's an amazing human being. My man's Josh Kolich from Nine Stitch Method, that my brother from another mother. I love that man. He's been there through thick and thin with me on the stage and off the stage the last several years, always supporting and always helping me push. Gus Wallner, my producer, same thing, man. Him and I are, we started our journeys whenever we first met, and we're business partners, we're best friends and stuff. We've been through a lot together, and we've seen each other through our journeys progress and grow as human beings. And then my manager over at DI Records, Dakota, he's the fucking man. Another good human being. He's been there with me through a lot of shit. And you guys, for just like I said the last time we were on, the people that are doing the thankless jobs like the show promoting and the podcast, giving us a platform to let everyone hear our stuff, man. Much love to you guys. You guys are some amazing and awesome people. I always love working with you. I'll work with you any day of the week. Yeah, man.
I
That's
mean, you're
pretty much
always
it.
welcome. I needed to switch it up for myself. I was on your side. I was the artist. I was the,
Yes.
and I don't know, between, like, yeah, I had Robert Rosenthal, I had Mike Stover, but there was missing. Now I can see a bit more. There's Vox and Guest that came up. There's the cake lady, the cake that does the podcast.
Yeah.
I fucking love that girl. She brings cakes to the bands, like,
Yeah.
at their show. It's fucking
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, I want a cake. I want a cake, but she's not close to me. Uh, but it's amazing to see more and more people doing this, to give you guys a voice, to give you a platform to talk.
Yes.
Like I said, I can never guarantee how many people that are gonna be here and they're gonna watch, but I can guarantee that you'll probably at least touch one of those people with what we're talking about, with what we're listening to. And I think that's the goal with music, is to reach that
Yes, in
one
general.
person that might need it. So as we were saying earlier, guys, don't forget that there's lines that you can call. There's websites, and mine and Patrick's DMs are open. I know Ames also. It's just, don't fucking wait. Um,
Yes.
just don't wait.
N-
Um,
Then on a final note
yes,
before I get
yes,
off here,
go.
uh, just because of how the algorithm is with social media and whatnot, if you guys, to the people that watch this, if you're an artist yourself, if you're dropping stuff, releasing stuff, feel free to give me a DM. A lot of times the only reason I'm on social media is to drop some promotional material for my stuff. But if you got stuff, hit me up with a message. If you happen to be touring and need a date in Pittsburgh, PA, I can help you with that. I'm a show promoter. As long as you're not a dick, we can work together. I try to
Yep.
give everybody, a decent, smooth running show, good vibes, good atmosphere, and whatnot. So yeah, just keep trucking, keep doing what you're doing, and that's
I
pretty much all I
always,
got. Thank you
I
for your
always,
time.
I always say the same thing. If you guys have something to promote, send me a DM. Because if you're waiting for Facebook to tell me,
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yes.
won't see it. That's what Patrick did. He sent me a message. He was like, "We're dropping it. I'm dropping an album. Can we do something?" So if you guys want to set up something like this, you gotta hit me up. because my head is up my ass anyways half the time because of the podcast, the radio, the magazine. So if you guys don't wave a flag my way, the ADHD brain squirrel, and I will forget everything. Patrick, thank you so much for being with us tonight and showing us your music. Are you open for collaborations, Patrick?
Oh yeah, I collab with people all the time. Actually, I just dropped. It was last month. We dropped the Cipher of the Morning Star.
Yes.
It's myself. 6 Gars is on it. It's myself and 12 other vocalists. It was a pretty banging track, if I do say so myself. Yeah, and there's going to be more stuff like that in the future. But yes, if you need someone to collab, as long as the quality's there and it fits my vibe, I'm a message away. I'm pretty easy to work with. And like I said, I'm going to be doing ciphers and stuff like that off and on here in the future. So
that's pretty incredible. I like that. I like that song. I like how there's 12 people in it. And it doesn't sound like chaos. It sounds like organized.
Yes, it took a lot of time, but everybody brought it in together. And I feel like a dick, but like a lot of times I don't feature people on my music because I always want the availability to play the song live.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, I'm impatient. You know, if you're not with me, if you're kind of like humming and hemming and hawing around the bush and not getting it done, I'm just going to boot you off, you know. Yeah. But I want to start doing projects, more stuff like the Cypher, just to kind of give back a little bit instead of me always being take, you know. I try to do that kind of shit.
Well, whenever you're ready to look for people, let us know, and we'll put a hit out there for some bands and some people. I'll pass the message along. I have somebody that's been looking for vocalists for projects that he's doing, Rob Volkov. So if you want, go check out Life Renewed on Facebook. He's always looking for vocalists, and that goes for anybody, guys. Just check out his stuff. The only thing he asks is no swearing. I mean,
that's right up my alley. I don't swear in my music.
You know what I mean? I think we could, like, that's pretty much the only thing he'll ask. But check him out. He's pretty incredible. He does the intro, outro for the NYXUS podcast.
Okay. So, I see you. All right.
And that intro, outro is a little project that we're working on together. So it's going to be pretty cool. But thank you, Patrick, for being with us. Have a good night. And we will make sure to keep spinning your music. If you want to send me the tracks, I'll add them to the radio.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much for everything.
Always.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you for being here.